Okay, but is this a safe space? Because X-Men 97's been over for a fortnight now, and there's still some images I can't get out my head. Namely this, and of course, this. Then there's the general energy of this.
So small I could smite you with a step.
I mean, Mum, I'm so sorry if you're watching this. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I made my Magneto set of nails. This was the main inspo image, with this light glare, the sunspots, and the lightning. Today I'm using these long coffin tips, which means I've got a bit more space to work on. To make sure they're prepped properly and will last a long time, I first shape the tip to get rid of the burr from the forming process, and then buff the surface of the nail to take away the shine and make sure that the polish adheres and doesn't peel off at any point in the future. The final step of prepping the nails is to wipe them down with an alcohol wipe to get rid of any dust and oils. And now they're ready to paint. I'm putting down a royal blue base first. This one's from Beetle's Polish and the opacity is brilliant. I don't have a plan for the sunspots, and I don't know why I keep saying that because I literally never have a plan. Just a vision. So I'm thinking I can do these sunspots in the same way I usually do lightning, and that involves putting down a darker base at the bottom and then going back over it again with a lighter colour and feathering that out. Because again, there was no plan, I'm doing this on the thumbnail, and I have a plan to put a portrait on the thumbnail, so if this background turns out wrong, I can learn from my mistakes for the next nails and it's just going to be covered up anyway. So what I've done here is I've done just one solid line in the darker colour and cured it, and now I'm going back in with the same darker colour and using a brush that I ruined a long time ago to stipple that and fade it out into the center of the circle. The third layer, I'm adding the lighter color right on top of the first line, but then feathering that out without curing it. Once I finished this first spot, I was pretty happy with how it was looking, and I continued to add in different colors and different sizes of sunspots, layering them so we got a sort of crossover effect. This footage is all sped up ×2, so as you can see, this is a pretty quick process, and I had my TV show going on in the background and just lost myself in doing this. Once I'd finished all the sunspots, I thought that the solid blue of the background looked a little bit stark against the sunspots, so I added in, with a sponge applicator, some paler pink for that true galaxy effect. And then, because I was feeling the full effect of the 2010 galaxy craze, I took my white candy coat pot and added in some stars. Onto a little lightning tutorial for you now. And this is a really simple and very tried and tested method that has been around for ages, but I still think it's really effective. So what you're going to do is you are going to start out by mapping out the shape of your lightning with a really opaque white polish and a thin liner brush. And then you're going to take a really not opaque polish and paint directly over that line, but you're also going to go a little bit outside of the line so that you've got this colourful haze around the lightning. The last step is to take the thinnest liner brush that you have and to paint over that again with the opaque white, making sure that it's thinner than the original line. So that was all I wanted to do on the backgrounds, and they ended up looking something like this. But my friends, that was the easy bit, because now it's time for portraits. This is where any half-baked plans I ever have goes completely out the window. For me, doing portraits involves picking a picture that I want to do a portrait of and then doing my best to replicate it. This particular one was really difficult for me and involved a lot of going back and forth, drilling things off, completely starting again, and many trips to my boyfriend to ask him for tips on how to make it better. But the useful bit of information I can give you is that for these portraits I use gel stamping polishes. They have the consistency of acrylic paint and the opacity to match. It makes them really easy to blend, and the only thing I find tricky is that sometimes the surface can look a little bit rough and not as smooth as a regular self-leveling nail polish. So this face that you're seeing right now is not the final face that I ended up with. So once I'd finished the hair and the latex bodysuit, I decided that the thing I hated the most was the eyes, so the drill came out. So a quick eye removal and a wipe down with an alcohol wipe. I was considering whether Rubber Daddy Magneto would be one to wear an eye patch, but then I decided that any alterations to his costume would be actual heresy. So I was finally left with a set of eyes that I didn't absolutely hate, so I sealed those in with a glossy top coat and called it a day. So as much as I absolutely adore the pink sheen latex, I wanted the other thumb to have Magneto's classic red helmet. This thumb was certainly less stressful than the other thumb, but it actually took around the same time. So same deal as before, I'm using the opaque stamping gels in order to paint on my portrait for their opacity, but for the actual helmet I used regular self-leveling polish to get that super shiny finish. This footage is all sped up 2x speed, and you can see just how slowly I have to go on some of these portraits in order to get them right. So I'll shut up for a bit while I finish this portrait off. And here's the second portrait all finished. I used a matte top coat to finish this set off, which I think is a little bit more forgiving on some of the slightly rougher parts of the portrait. I really love how they look together. And here's the final set all done. If you're wondering how long I spent on this in total, it was probably about 6 hours including all the prep, but I'm really happy with how they came out and I'm enjoying developing my skills a little bit more in doing these cartoon portraits. As always, these are up for sale on my Etsy shop and you can find the link down below. Or if you just like watching me paint nails, I have a Gambit set that I also made, which I'll be posting next week, so come back then for more nail art. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to add a like if you enjoyed the video, and drop a comment down below if you have a particular character that you'd like to see me do next. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.